Yo, what's up, guys? And today we're going to be talking about the VEX IQ game Level Up. Now, it sparked some controversy, not that much though, but let's get into it. So, we'll be talking about the game rule changes. There's some minor ones and some more that kind of is important, not really though. We have possible game strategies. Now these are just suggestions, and we have a lubrication suggestion, which we'll get to that later, and obviously robot designs. So for rule changes, we have all these. We have the skill starting position. So last year in mix and match for uh, the skill starting position, it would be just the exact same as the red side. So you'd play as the red team and you just have like multiple color loads, but you would start at the red triangle goal like you would as the red team. But this year, I'm pretty sure your robot starts on the opposite side, so it starts at the blue starting position, even though you're playing as the red team. So don't worry if it's like confusing, because it also confused me a lot when I first tried to understand it. But moving on, we have the AI and LLM ban. So the AI and slash or the large language model ban, it's basically pretty self-explanatory, just no artificial intelligence. I don't see how teams would use it, maybe just for the notebook, but other than that, it's not too much to worry about. But underneath, we have something a little bit different for the actual robot. We have SG2, which is horizontal expansion, is now legal. So what this means is, because last year during mix and match, you were allowed to vertically expand infinitely as much as you want, and your starting configuration was confined to 11 by 20 by 15, 15 being the height. But now this year, I'm pretty sure you can expand to uh, 11 by 24 by infinity, infinity being the height. So now we can expand a little. So I think people will start building like 4 bars, double reverse 4 bars, maybe even 6 bars, because you can extend out, and that's basically what a 4 bar is. Now, this also helps with VEX IQ's robot called Flop. It's a decent robot. It's a place to start, but it does extend outward. So I think that's one of the reasons. Now, moving on, we have the SG5, neutral preloads. So this won't affect too much, but it might affect a small bit like strategy during the game. So what this means is, last year we had 3 colors, blue, red, and yellow pins. This year they're the same, but they're just beanbags. So last year, depending on which side you are, you get that corresponding color as the preload. So if you were on the red side, you would get a red pin, and blue side, you get a blue pin. But this year, no matter which side you're on, you will get a yellow pin or yellow beanbag as your preload. So what this means is, since beanbags can only be scored on L4, I think that a viable strategy would just to be shoot the first yellow beanbag, and which actually this flows in right to our next one, which is possession limit. This year, you can only possess 1 beanbag at a time. So with the neutral preloads, you can maybe shoot to L4, and then you have space for 1 more beanbag, and then you can go collect whatever beanbag you have. So moving on, R14. Now this is a very special and interesting one. So R14, it says that food safe lubricants are legal. And this is a maybe, because in the notebook, if you've read it yet, but there's 2 different points that actually contradict itself. So we don't know if this is a typo or if they just forgot to remove the contradictions. But yeah, this would be a huge thing, definitely, if they RECF allowed it, because then all the gears wouldn't have like collect dust, and everything would run smoothly, and the motors would obviously have less stress. So this is a pretty big thing, obviously, maybe. Now moving on, we have SG4, out of bound objects. This one is also a pretty big one, because last year when a pin fell out of the field, you could reintroduce it by loading it. Although this year, VEX IQ wanted to be mean or something, so you can't load it back in anymore. Once it's out, it's out. So we'll talk more about that during the strategy side. So for our strategy, you can see that it's pretty confusing. So if I remember correctly, the I think they mixed these two up. The blue side is supposed to be here, but the blue robot starts here and the red robot starts here, if I'm not mistaken. So as you can see, these bean bags, they're on the wrong side, because if you shoot this beanbag onto here or any of these, and including this one, it wouldn't count as anything. These red beanbags have to be on this one, and these red beanbags can only be loaded on this side, which is really, really bad, and it's going to be really hard to control. And another thing is, if you look at the middle, you can see that there's just this one singular blue beanbag. So if the red team starts here, they can either try to get the red one, go all the way here and shoot it, or they obviously, with the first yellow they have, try to place it on L4 or shoot it to the blue side. But if they try to get the red one, which is the only one of their color, they'll have to maneuver through these two beanbags, because they can't be touching more than one, or plowing through more than one beanbag at a time. So they'll have to go through it and shoot, and then they have to maneuver back over this one and then try to pass it over to the teammates. So what I think is going to happen is that both teams are going to try to reach for L4 as fast as they can, because I think reviewing the field, the first beanbag on L4 is going to be the hardest. After that, you can shoot it pretty harshly, I think, and it wouldn't fall off as easily. Same for the goals. Now, another thing is, you can see that the load station is right here, which is completely uh, across from the goal. And same thing for the other side. So what I think will happen is, this first beanbag, or the preload, they get all the yellows on L4. Then the teams will try to get their own beanbag. They shoot it. Then once this happens, it's kind of going to be like mix and match, where both teams do the same thing. So they get the beanbag and either shoot it directly onto the L3 and then load L3, same with this side, or they get the beanbag and launch it over for their team to collect, and then load, launch, load, launch, load, launch, and same thing's going to happen here. So there's just going to be a bunch of red beanbags here. They get all of these and put it to L3, 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 and same thing with this side. So I think this would be a better strategy. But another thing about strategy is, if you played mix and match last year, you would realize that there's something called a double beam or solo teamwork, where you quote unquote carry your teammates when you have like a pretty bad pairing. So to try to like VEX IQ, I think they try to like stop this from happening. So each team would have to, kind of contribute equally. And yeah, I think that's about it for the strategy. And just to add on, actually, I kind of forgot about this, but if a team tried to shoot for L3 and load, shoot, one of the possible problems is that if a beanbag falls off, you can't get the max score of 480, and they'll just, I think should be a better option to shoot it here for your teammates to collect, but obviously China teams, you never know what's going to happen. So moving on to our lubrication suggestion. So I did some research and I found that this one specifically, I don't blah 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 blah, is a pretty good. You can find it on Amazon. I'll link it into the description. It's food safe, it's plastic safe, it's good with plastic, and it will not leak out of your robot. So some places you can put this on is like the intake gears and the drivetrain, especially the drivetrain, because this year you're going to be driving around a lot, and not as much for the catapult or the scoring system, but you definitely could use it. Moving on, we have the robot design. So there's going to be 4 parts of the robot design. We have the drivetrain, intake, scoring device, and other notes. So for the drivetrain, you can see that we have this one, which was kind of like a full volume drive, and this one was a rapid relay drive. you can see that I'm pretty sure these are 20 by 20, and these are also 20 by 20. This one has an H drive this year. I don't think H drive is going to be used. I think it's just 2 motor, 2-to-1, maybe 2.5-to-1. I don't think 2.5-to-1 is going to work out though. So I don't know if you guys played mix and match last year, but we had 2x16s. So the drivetrain's length was 2x16, and then this side was 2x20. I don't think that would be a viable use case this year, because this year you can not only expand outward, but you can also expand through heights. So it's going to be a bit more like full volume, I think, where the robots won't be as bulky. Obviously, they'll probably be like skinnier, but they'll have like a bunch of mechanisms inside them. And this is for the rapid relay. I don't know if you guys played that either, but it's for China load, where you have a China load system. You put it on this, and you have the normal back roller bot on this too, so you could just hot swap it out whenever you want. So for drivetrain, I think 2-to-1 is going to be the best option. 2-motor drive. PTO, that's optional. I think 2 motors should be fine. As long as your robot's light, you should be fine. Now for the intake, there's 3 types of intakes we'll be talking about. There's obviously first the claw, then we have the flop intake, and then we have the rubber band intake. Now for the claw intake, I don't think this will be a viable thing unless you're like 4-bar, 6-bar, double reverse, whatever, or cascade reaches all the way to like L4 in what, 2 seconds, or it's not going to be that good, because maybe it has enough height to reach L4, but to score L3, the robot has to go into the goal, the pyramid goal, and I just don't think he'll be able to do that while still being stable. So I'll have to say a hard no on the claw intake. For the flop intake, I think it's a lot better compared to the claw intake, but I still can see some problems with it. Like for example, if the bean bags are either just like on its side, it might have some difficulties, because these pieces, these rubber pieces, I don't know if you've used them before, but like at the really end it's soft, but then once you get closer to the middle, it's like stiffens. So it's like really compliant here and non-compliant here. So I just don't know if it's going to be as viable. That's why the last option is actually my favorite, the swish. On the swish, we had these rubber band intakes now from Rapid Relay. Obviously, these specific rollers, I don't know, the build quality is just not there, but it's a starting point. So you could use the, I think, 60th tooth sprocket, rubber band, and you can just like do it on all the sprockets. Connect them by either like a shaft or just kind of like this, just reverse, so it's a lot skinnier and low profile. And yeah, I think that's gonna be like one of the best intakes. Now for the scoring devices, I can think of 2 options, like 2 viable options. There's the catapult from Swish, and this is the flywheel. This flywheel was built by Ben Lipper. Shout out to Ben Lipper, absolute goat. For the catapult, I think is going to be used more. I think there was a team that used a linear catapult, kind of like a cannon. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I think catapults are going to be more used, because catapults, like rapid relay, they're more tunable, and these flywheels, they're not as consistent, because not only that, but there's also like many rooms for error. Now, obviously, early season, I don't think we're gonna see many of these types of robots, but I feel like late to mid season, they're gonna like maybe flywheels, but a lot of catapults. Now for other notes, this might be pretty oh my god, con. Okay, no pneumatics, PTO. So I know some of you guys from last year, you have like a bunch of pneumatics and you guys just want to use it. I'll be honest, it's just gonna add more weight. Like you need an air tank, a pump, a solenoid, and even if you just want to activate like one piston, you have to add at least 3 of these. plus tubing and a piston itself, which I'll be honest, it's not going to be that worth it. Just use like a differential or gravity gear. And yeah, I think that's about it. If there's anything that I left out, let me know in the comments. And see you guys.